Welcome in, everyone, to episode 48 of the Memes, Dreams, 32 Teams podcast. I'm Justin,
I am Eddie.
and week 6 is done. It was another entertaining week. Football is not letting us down currently.
I'm loving it.
It is.
I will admit, like we talked about a minute ago, I did not get to watch too much this weekend. But the few games I did catch were pretty much nail biters.
Yeah, we had 3 overtime games, and then outside of the overtime games, we had
4 more
three
one possession games.
3 games that were one possession on top of that. So, I mean, a total of 6 with the overtime games. So, it was an entertaining week of football, as this season has been shaping to be. But for news and injuries, not a lot has really happened in terms of news. Zach Ertz did get traded on Friday, the day after the Eagles played against the Bucks. Zach Ertz got traded to the Cardinals for a 2022 fifth-round pick. Zach Ertz is toward the latter half of his career. Just a solid veteran tight end to bring in.
It's a little more than the latter half, probably, but still, yeah, it's worth having him around. He's still got a couple years in him.
And that team, I mean, they're playing. I think they're the best team in the NFL right now. And
Yeah, and if you would have told me, 3 years ago that they'd have DeAndre Hopkins and J.J. Watt and Zach Ertz,
and AJ
I
Green.
think there you go. That's the other one.
People are calling it the retirement home.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they're no, so
Yeah, if it works,
not a
right?
bad place.
Tua did get activated before this past week. He did play. They unfortunately lost the game, but it's good to see him back on the field. Christian McCaffrey did get placed on IR on Saturday, the day before the game, so he will be out for
Designated return.
yeah three games, short-term IR. So he can return until he can't return until week 9. So we'll see what happens with that. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are both out for week 7. They play Thursday night against Denver, and then Baker Mayfield tore his labrum in. I'm going to make sure I get this right. He tore his labrum in his non-throwing shoulder on September 19th, and then re-aggravated it on Sunday. So they're hoping that he plays Thursday.
He's very much one of those players that will play through just about any injury, though.
Yeah.
Unless he literally can't walk, he will play.
It's fortunate too that it's in his non-throwing shoulder.
Yeah, so I mean, it's still gonna hurt, but it's not. It's not going to affect him throwing 66-yard bombs.
Yep.
Which I think he's done twice this season.
And their backup is Case Keenum, which honestly, with how Denver's been playing lately, if they have to play Case Keenum, I still think they can win the game.
Yeah, depending on who they play. I thought it was going to be a closer game. We'll talk about that here in a minute. I thought they were going to have a closer game against the Cardinals, and Cardinals showed that they are the best team in football right now.
So
we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Baker and the rest of the Browns' injuries. There are this season has to be unique in terms of injuries. Like we need to sit down and see, but it feels like this season there are way more injuries, and maybe it's more injuries on key players.
Injuries, yeah.
But it just seems like every team, someone's getting injured. Like Dak got injured on the game-winning play, and he hurt his calf. They said he's fine, but an injury's an injury, right?
Yeah.
So something has to be up, right? Like, what do you think the reason is? That is there any reason why everyone's getting injured that you can think of?
Last year we were pinning it all on the short off season that they had. This season, there's really no one thing you could say why. Oh, that makes sense. They just haven't had the opportunity to get healthier. They didn't get the opportunity to get stretched out or whatever. It's just one after another, and there seems to be no rhyme or reason to it this time around.
It's just so interesting. I don't
There's
know,
literally
man.
been. I would be surprised if we're approaching, if not have passed 50 like impactful injuries.
I would agree. I mean, it was like week 1 or week 2, and there were like 7 or 9 quarterbacks injured. So
Yeah, and last week the Giants had 6 starters.
I,
So
I feel so bad for them, man. They're doing the best they can. Okay,
they're doing the best they can.
but
I have
let's.
now permanently benched Daniel Jones, but that's besides
I
the point.
mean, yeah,
He was my super flex.
yeah, but and then
Now Jamar Chase's. So
yeah, that's a great pick.
yeah,
But we'll jump into Week 6 with the Thursday night game of Tampa Bay versus Philadelphia. Tampa Bay did go into Philly and won 28-22. Closer than I
not
expected.
yeah.
And
I didn't think it was gonna be a one possession game by any means.
honestly, the Eagles sort of got screwed toward the latter half of the fourth quarter. I want to see exactly what drive it was on. But they got a taunting call that should not have been taunting.
This is the one where he just like stood up, looked at him, and walked away, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on the final drive. It's 1st and 10, but pushing the team forward
Yeah.
17 yards doesn't really help your chances. It would have been 2nd and 8 if that penalty hadn't been called. So not to say that they would have won the game, but it's much easier to stop a
I
team
mean
when it's
that
2nd and 8 and not 1st and 10.
yeah, yeah, and you don't give them 15% of the.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel. I'm pretty sure I do. But the taunting is probably one of the dumbest things the NFL has done in a while.
Yeah, I see
To an
their
extent, it makes sense.
yeah, I see their reasoning. Like the whole point, for anyone curious, is they want to avoid brawls and like all these big fights. But like, how often are we? Like, I feel like people get in fights when there are no taunting calls. So like,
Yeah, I mean, but how much different would the game be if there was just because basically what they're saying is we don't want any smack talk, any aggressive smack talk.
it's just so boring.
How many times did we see Aqib Talib or Champ Bailey sit there yelling at the receiver 3 feet from him before the play started?
That's what makes sports fun, right? Like, come on, you're taking away the fun
God,
part.
yes.
Like,
It hurts. It hurts the competitiveness a little bit for me. But I mean, these guys are still going to do it. We saw what Aaron Rodgers did. He found the loophole. Yell at the crowd, not at the players.
it's similar to like when the roughing the passer calls first, like the new ones came in. It was really bad
Soft
for a
ones.
year, and then all the players have started to like adapt. So if they don't change the taunting calls in any way, which I hope they either get rid of the penalty completely or make it like excessive taunting, like excessive
Yeah,
celebration, right?
exactly. That's probably the silver lining here.
The players will adapt, but I think the penalty itself, I personally think it should just go.
Yeah,
Or call it excessive taunting if it is in fact excessive.
like
But
if Mike Evans breaks out a 75-yard touchdown because he burned the cornerback, I want him to say something to that cornerback.
I
That
agree.
cornerback deserves to have something said to him. He doesn't deserve to get teabagged, but
Yeah, true.
that might be excessive. But yeah, he's gonna turn around and say something to him. That's just the nature of the sport.
I'm just imagining a sports world. Like, let's just focus on the NFL and think of like all the players being like Andrew Luck and being like, "Nice
Oh,
hit,
good tech.
great catch, sir.
Good show.
GG, good night," and just like leaving. I don't. I
Tell the
don't.
wife hi.
Yeah, it seems so boring. But
Yeah, but like you said, they'll scale back on it. They're gonna have to scale back on it. But anyway, back to the game.
the
The Bucks and
Bucks,
the Eagles. Little tangent.
the Bucks haven't looked like, honestly. They've had a few games where they just haven't looked like super great. Like they beat the
No,
Patriots by 2, almost lost on a last-second field goal. They beat the Eagles by 6. They beat us
and
by
just
2. They lost to the Rams.
I mean, I think the best game they've played was against the Cowboys.
I would say that or the Dolphins game because they won 45-17 like it was nothing.
Yeah. Well, as you should do to the Dolphins.
They just to me, they don't feel like a 5-1 team.
Not at all. They're at best probably just like medium tier right now for me. High medium tier. They're a good team. They're still going to make playoffs. They're still going to win the division. But if they have to play the Rams again, they're probably going to lose to the Rams. If they play the Cardinals, they're probably going to lose to the Cardinals.
They have a game. Let's see what they're. Honestly, the rest of their schedule,
Very light.
their
They have
toughest
the
game is
Bills.
the Bills. Yeah.
Yeah, they have the Bills.
I would like try to put the division games in there, but
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
unfortunately.
Outside of division games, it's just the Bills, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
So they may seriously end up 14-3 this year.
by like doing nothing. So
Pretty much, yeah. But
on the
props to the
Eagles,
Eagles for hanging with them.
my biggest gripe with the Eagles is one, Jalen Hurts is doing everything,
Which isn't much even still.
and two, Miles Sanders like doesn't get enough credit or chances or
No, not at
etc.
all. He's almost no, yeah, just over 6 yards a carry in this game. But he only got 9 carries. Why?
His carries throughout the season, I'll read the attempts: 15, 13, 2, 7, 11, 9.
He should be getting 20 carries a game.
He had 2 rushes against Dallas. For both rushes were 13 and a half yards. Like, obviously average, but like,
Still.
wh-
If you're telling me he gets 27 on one rush and 0 on the other rush, I'm still going to take those chances.
yeah, I don't understand.
It doesn't make sense.
And I don't know if it's like Jalen Hurts just feels like he has to do everything, or if this is a situation that their coach Sirianni thinks that Miles Sanders isn't good, or he just doesn't understand the NFL. Like I don't know what it is.
This is not a player's problem, in my opinion. Jalen Hurts is still young enough to where he's not the kind of shot caller to go out there and audible the line and go completely against what his coach just said. He hasn't been around that long. So he's just doing the game plan that the coach lays out for him. And unfortunately, this is the product of that. I say unfortunately, they hung with the Patriots or with the Bucks very well. I mean, they lost by 6. They had an opportunity to do something into the game. It just didn't work out for them.
I forget who
Could
it
have had
was.
the
One of our friends the other night said that Jalen Hurts is just like Lamar Jackson, but just worse.
yeah,
By a lot.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, that's not to say that Jalen Hurts couldn't be a Lamar caliber player in 2 to 3 years.
He definitely needs he's having a very steep learning curve.
Yes.
So I don't know. I think the Eagles need to trust in Miles Sanders. It will take a lot of pressure off of Hurts, which he will probably perform better on top of that.
Yeah.
So, but Eagles are 2-4. No shock, really.
Yeah, struggling.
Bucks are 5-1. No shock, but they don't look like a 5-1 team.
Yeah, but they got such an easy schedule sometimes still.
It's so dumb.
Like the hardest part of their schedule is over with, like we just said.
It's so annoying.
So it's the hand they were dealt, and they got dealt a royal flush pretty much.
That's what happens when you get second in the division and then win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
But a team that got their first win in 21 games, unfortunately.
Why?
Why? I wanted the streak to be broken. Right?
Oh, for sure.
Miami and Jacksonville ended up in London, and Jacksonville won the game 23-20 on a last-second field goal. By the way, I want you to note, this Jacksonville team had not made any field goals this season up until this game.
Wow. That explains a lot.
Their 3 field goals that they have made this season were in this game.
That explains a lot. You can't have that. You just can't do that.
It's just funny to think like all the field goals they attempted the first 5 weeks missed. Like what?
Yeah.
Who's kicking? They did cut Josh Lambo who
Yeah,
is their most accurate kicker in franchise history, but the team has been around since the late 90s, I think it is.
early 2000s. They
So
were
like
expansion with the Texans.
they were a little bit before the Texans. They were the
Okay,
31st team, and then the
okay.
Texans were the 32nd. But like, how? How? I don't know.
Yeah, I will say though, Trevor Lawrence looked rather good.
Yeah, I would
Same
say
for James Robinson.
this is well, James Robinson's looking really good all season.
Yes.
I would say this is the first game to me that Trevor Lawrence looked NFL like ready or like finally learning it, like on the right track.
Yeah. And I mean, this was if he's gonna do it, this is one of the better games to figure it out since the next 3 games, 4 games are gonna be pretty tough. 5 of the next 6 games, 6 of the next 7 games are gonna be pretty tough.
Oh, their
So
schedule. Oh no.
yeah, they're about to have a gauntlet at the
Well,
Seahawks, Bills, Colts,
they're
49ers,
fortunate it
Falcons,
is
Rams.
Geno Smith running that Seahawks team. So that's a plus, right?
That that knocks the Seahawks down a little bit, but Jaguars are still gonna have to do a good bit. But if
Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence plays like he did here, he's gonna make that defense look like the Swiss cheese it is. So
unfortunately. But on the other side, I mean, Tua came back and he played well. I don't.
that's a good stat line. 33 for 47, 329, 2 touchdowns and an interception. The interception, of course, hurts and could have been the difference maker in this game. But for a first game back, I'm not mad about it.
The interception turned into a loss of downs by the
Yeah,
Jags. So nothing
didn't hurt him.
didn't technically hurt him, yeah.
Well,
But they just it's at this point with the Dolphins, now that they have Tua back, it's just now on executing. Like
yeah,
before when he was out, we could say like, oh, it's because Jacoby Briskett's in, and like we don't have to fully like understand that he's this guy coming in to hope that he can fix the team while Tua's out. But now it's like, all right, Tua, now you have to execute because you're back.
now you have to do it because they're 3 games back in the division. I mean, we're only 6 weeks in, but
They're
they're 3 games back in the division.
they're not going to catch the Bills. Let's be honest, right?
No, the
So
Bills have to lose. They have to win 3 more games than the Bills, basically, throughout the rest of the season. And I don't see that happening.
I would say at this point they should be shooting for wild card.
7, 6 or 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They are 2 games back from the wild card currently.
Yeah, that's their best opportunity. Yeah, they won't catch the Bills.
No,
It, yeah.
they just
So,
won't.
but there's a lot of there's a lot of AFC teams in the mix though. We're only 6 weeks
honestly,
in, so everyone's in the mix. But
honestly, in my opinion, the AFC. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. The AFC is better than the NFC this season as a whole.
as a whole, okay, yeah.
It's close.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I'm thinking like 55-45. Like it's really close.
It is very close. I think the NFC's got the edge. Not to say that the NFC is going to be the Super Bowl winner, but
You heard it
the
first.
AFC.
NFC's won the Super Bowl. Eddie said it.
I don't know if that's.
Oh.
Uh, it'd be. We can do this later just for fun. But if we put the current AFC one against the current NFC one all the way through, and see who wins most of those matchups.
That would be fun. We could do that.
Yeah, and just going through the first couple, NFC takes it in my opinion. But once you get down to like
Mm-hmm.
the worst 7 teams in the league, it just toss up.
That's where I think like the middle pack to the bottom is where the AFC makes up a lot of the
As a whole, I see what you're saying.
yeah. Like if you scroll down,
I guess we'll see Pro Bowl.
the Chiefs are like the 9th ranked team in the AFC currently, and it's like that.
Can they beat the Eagles? Yes.
I don't know.
I don't know how they're playing with how
I mean,
they're
they beat
doing
the
it right
Eagles,
now.
but can they beat them
Yeah.
again? Oh, I don't know. But
But moving on
I think
to
both teams being 1-5 in this game
It's right. Jacksonville should be
unfortunately,
0-6, but
Miami should not be 1-5. Unfortunately, that Tua was out for 3 games, but with how
yeah,
the season's played out, 1-5 is
not
unfortunately,
yeah, not good.
unfortunately. But to a
Yeah.
team that is the complete opposite, the Green Bay Packers went into Chicago, and Aaron Rodgers, and I quote, still own the Bears.
You
So
saw the Wikipedia page got changed for a little bit.
yeah,
So yeah, the Packers versus the Aaron Rodgers owned Bears. Um, that honestly, that headline pretty much says it all.
this to me, I don't really want to talk too much about the Packers side because it's Aaron Rodgers going in and doing his thing. The Packers rushed 31 times for 154 yards. They did their thing and they left. Right? Not literally it's like they didn't really try for Bears, but
This was a scrimmage for them.
right. On the other side, I think it's the same issue. Is that Justin Fields just needs to play a little bit better. Not to say that he played
Yeah,
horribly in this game, but
got another touchdown, doubled his total.
sweet soul, man,
No,
sweet soul.
you are right. He's getting more chances, which is nice to see, but he just needs to actually do something with them. Then again,
They're
he was up against Green Bay's defense, which is very good, to say the least.
yeah, they're trend the Bears are starting to trend the right way with Justin Fields. He just needs more
Yes.
time, which honestly, I think if he would have started week 1, he could be hitting full stride now,
Well, yeah, that's 2 more games worth of experience he could have
right?
got.
But their run game is fine. I mean, they're on their third running back with Khalil Herbert because Montgomery's out, and then Williams, I think was the backup, is also out. So Herbert played, who is also a rookie. And he's playing great. To me, it's literally just on fields for the Bears.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I know we always harp on how much quarterbacks are like the center of a team, or do we talk about quarterbacks so much? This more so than probably 25 other teams in the league. It's going to depend on how good the quarterback does in this instance.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
But yeah, they're trending in the right direction. See what they can do. They've got the Bucks next week, so
Yikes.
we'll see if the Bucks want to play like the Bucks.
He'll get 2 good games after the Bucks. He'll play the 49ers and the Steelers. Those will be 2 good tests to see if he can actually win games.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, I didn't think he'd win this game, and next week I don't think he's going to win again, unfortunately. So he needs to go and play San Francisco and Pittsburgh and really put out good weeks to see if he's trending
If
in the right direction.
anything, it's good time for whenever he is on the sideline, whenever his team's on defense, to just sit there and watch Aaron Rodgers and watch
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady and
Yep.
see the little things that they do. If he can pick up anything from this week or next week, that's it can't hurt him. There's 2
Yeah.
of the best quarterbacks of all time.
Hopefully he learns something because
Yeah.
he needs to learn something quick,
Yeah.
or they're gonna start to slip in the standings. Currently, they are a spot half a game, not even half a game. They're losing a tiebreaker to being in playoffs. So they're there. They just need to not lose it. So, but the Packers are 5-1. No shock, right? Technically, I think they should be 6-0, but they got stomped
They
by the
didn't
Saints.
show up.
True, it's like they didn't even
weren't
show
ready.
up at all.
They weren't ready, and that was their wake up call that they, I guess, needed.
And now they're
And it
5
just
innocents.
happened to come in week 1. Yeah.
So Packers look good, unfortunately for the rest of the NFL, especially the NFC. Bears trending hopefully in the right direction, but who knows?
Yeah.
Then we go to poor Detroit, man.
Or Detroit. I was gonna say a team that looks terrible in the same division. Um,
They
yeah,
didn't
I
score
don't
anything
know.
until the fourth quarter.
Till it was garbage time at that point. They were down 27-0.
I'm not
I
even going to give them the 27-0. They were down 34-3
yeah, with 5 minutes left in the game.
and then scored a touchdown and 2-point conversion with 2 minutes to go. Like
I don't know.
I don't
They're just bad.
I
They're
don't know
just bad.
what to say, right? Like how
They should have never let Matthew Stafford go.
they should have. That was the right decision because they
Oh,
knew.
he wasn't going to do anything.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they got like what 13 first-round picks I think for him.
Something like that, yeah.
So
So
the
they
line,
made out pretty good, yeah. But they just need to actually do something with those. They're already looking at next year at this point.
I hope so.
I mean, they might as well just start picking up anybody who's not making the cut right now, just start picking up free agency and dropping people and try to piece together something like full on replacements
Yeah,
this season.
just anything, man.
Yeah.
Poor Lions. On the other side, though,
Bengals.
honestly,
Bengals looking good.
I would not be shocked if this Bengals team makes the playoffs and upsets someone.
That wouldn't surprise me a bit because they're probably going to land at a 5 or 6 seed.
Yep.
Which would put them up against somebody like not the Chargers.
Currently, they would be playing Buffalo, which I don't think they can beat Buffalo.
That may not be the upset game.
But I mean, if they end up getting like the Titans or the Chargers, like there's a chance.
Yeah.
So,
If the Chargers, we saw what the Chargers did this week. The Chargers are vulnerable, and we'll get to that game in a bit.
yeah,
But
put that
that is a possibility.
So hopefully the Bengals keep trending because honestly, props to Joe Burrow coming back from his injury. He's playing
lights out
Yeah.
almost. I mean, they honestly right now they have a chance at the division. Again, we're only 6 weeks in. There's 11 games left in the season for them and
down one game.
Baltimore. But I mean, they have the opportunity
This week.
because this whole division is just
This week they go into Baltimore and
there's your test.
and can technically own the tiebreaker and be leading the division after week 7 if they win.
Yes. And then it's in their hands after that. But that whole division I know before the season started, I think we either had the Browns or the Ravens winning the division.
Mhm.
Cincinnati was a close-ish third.
Yeah.
At this point, I give the division to anybody but Steelers.
I would agree. The Steelers are lucky that they're 3-3, I would say. They got what looked like a fluke win in week 1. Yeah. Then they played a Broncos team that had Teddy Bridgewater coming off a concussion, and they played a no Russell Wilson Seahawks. Like,
they've gotten fortunate so far, but
it's an exciting division
with 17 games now. It's a very exciting division. With 17 games now, that's one more game that they have to prove themselves, and they fall off sooner rather than later for me. Yeah. They've kind of already started falling off.
Very true.
Back to the Bengals, they didn't do anything super impressive this game. They didn't do anything bad this game. They just went out and played their game and won. I don't know what else there's to say. Lions are bad. Bengals are good.
See, my whole opinion on playing bad teams like Detroit is good teams will go in and execute and win like this.
Yeah.
Like the 49ers beat Detroit by 8. So to me it's 49ers aren't good.
That's fair.
I know you're supposed to win the game regardless, but you shouldn't just lazily win the game. Right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't the Bucs should not be beating Philly 28-22. It should not be happening.
No, that should have been a 34-11 game.
Yeah. So Cincinnati their defense is, I don't know, I need to look into Cincinnati, but whatever they did to their defense in the offseason, I don't know, man. It looks great.
It's working very well.
But to a team that also did not show up, Houston apparently went into Indianapolis, and they lost 31-3. Not much to say about this game. Carson Wentz looked good. Jonathan Taylor looked amazing.
Yeah.
Davis Mills is a rookie.
T.Y. Hilton's back, looking great.
Oh man, them getting T.Y. Hilton back is just like, no, stop that.
They needed him though.
Oh, 100%. 100%. They didn't have a true number one.
Now they do.
I mean,
They needed him as much as Houston needs Tyrod Taylor back.
man, I feel so bad for the
'Cause-
Texans. Like, we were all just like, oh, they're not going to play well. And then Tyrod Taylor showed up week 1 and was like, we're going to be relevant. And then,
Ooh, hope.
and then it was gone.
Oh.
Man, poor Texans. The Colts 2-4 makes sense. The Texans 1-5 honestly makes sense.
The better team won. That doesn't mean the Colts are good.
That's the best way to put it. I appreciate you summing that up. Another game, like there's a few games back to back to back here that are just kind of like meh. The Rams went into a Giants team that I would not call them Giants. They're like normal sized people.
Little Giants.
And the Rams won 38-11. The Rams look good. The Giants
Pretty much same story, different teams, different colors.
Yeah.
Rams 5-1, yes. Giants 1-5, yes. Matthew Stafford thriving in LA. Daniel Jones not doing great.
Probably still
Good
concussed.
to see he's healthy.
He's probably still
Good to see he's
concussed.
starting.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, Giants are
Giants are in shambles.
yeah,
They'll probably have a top 5 draft pick.
yes. Right next to Jaguars
and
and
the Jets.
Lions. And the Jets.
Both New York teams will have a top 5 draft pick.
I wonder how many times it's happened.
That's a good question.
I feel like it's been a handful of times that they've both had a top 5 draft pick.
There's never been a New York versus New York Super Bowl, right? You know off
You're
the top of your
telling me both of them have been good at the same time? No. Let's be honest here.
I feel so bad because the both of those organizations have had like really good teams at points in the past, but like lately it's just not been good.
Yeah.
Ugh, poor guys. Kansas City went into Washington and won 31-13.
This game surprised me. Not the outcome of the game, but how bad Washington lost. I expected this to be a little bit closer. With the way the Chiefs have been playing and the way Washington's been playing, I expected this game to be a little bit closer.
I understand, but it was a matter of time until the Chiefs like really outscored their opponents. I wouldn't say they figured it out because Mahomes threw 2 picks, and
Fair.
One of his picks, dude, it's the same thing that I've said multiple weeks. Mahomes is trying too much at times that he shouldn't. He was literally about to get sacked, and he threw the ball, and it went 18 yards into the sky. Not downfield, into the sky, and then got picked. And it's like, why is he throwing it? Like, there's no point.
Why is he throwing it? And if he is throwing it, why isn't he throwing it into the dirt?
Yeah, like I'm not trying to say for anyone listening, again, Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I get it.
He's just not looking like it.
Exactly. Right. Like he is throwing picks that he shouldn't be throwing. And they're just really simple mistakes.
Yeah.
They're not even
all
like...
All that being said, he still threw 400 yards this game. He still had above a 60%, I think. Close to, if not over, a 60% completion rating.
Yes, because, just probably over 67.
Yeah. So, he still did good. That 2 mistakes at 2 interceptions, fix that, and he's who we know he is.
I mean, let's think about it. Say both those interceptions that he throws. We'll say one of them, the one that he threw into the sky. Let's say they score a touchdown on that drive. They win 38-13.
Yeah.
Like, it looks even better. It's just little things that the reason why the Chiefs got embarrassed against the Bills is because the little things that they're not doing well right now don't get exposed by teams like Washington. But when you play a team like Buffalo...
They do, they do that against Buffalo or against the Titans. It's going to get... you see what happens.
Yeah.
They capitalize on those mistakes because those teams are that good.
Yeah. So
But speaking of Washington, ouch. Heineke is so hot and so cold.
I can't disagree with you like at all. Like I, it just sucks because I feel bad. Like he's literally doing everything he can.
And
But Fitzpatrick has a chance to return in week 7, which once
can't
Fitzpatrick
happen soon enough.
when Fitzpatrick is healthy, he is starting. Like there's
No question about that.
unfortunately for
Bring back my doppelganger.
unfortunately for Eddie's doppelganger, he will be playing right away and probably either throw 7 touchdowns or 7 picks right away. But
Yeah.
Heinz Ketchup will find himself on the bench,
Yeah.
which
He
hopefully
had
he can
his
learn.
moments. Yeah, he had his moments that show like, oh, he actually can do something in this league. He just needs to weed out all those really bad mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the leading his leading receiver this week was dump passes to JD McKissick. That was a third of his completions. A third of his passes went to McKissick. If it works, great, do that. McKissick is not Derrick Henry or McCaffrey.
Or Antonio Gibson, who literally plays on
Or
that team.
exactly. So
Washington needs help, and they need it quick. Kansas City
yeah,
just needs to what like a lot of coaches talk about, like no matter what level that you're playing a sport at, it's just the simple go back to basics.
yeah.
That's all you got to do. What
Minimize those stupid mistakes.
this team
Capitalize on their
this team will make the
mistakes.
playoffs. There's no doubt. They're gonna
Yeah,
beat
but I'm
someone in
not
the
so sure
playoffs.
I'm not so sure that they're because they're going to get hot at the second half of the
Yeah,
season like they normally do. But at this point, I'm not so sure that they win the division. I'm not so sure that's their path to playoffs. Granted, they're only one game out.
yeah. It all comes down if the Chargers can continue to stay
Yeah,
competitive. If the Chargers slow down for any reason, then the Chiefs probably take the
Chiefs.
division.
Yeah,
So, but to I'm gonna say it again. Kirk Cousins is playing well.
it's like the I don't know 4th time you've said that this season
It's because he keeps playing well.
because he's a good quarterback.
I
No
in the
interceptions,
regular season,
370.
he is playing. So
That is
far
his
this
downfall.
season, he is playing like honestly to me I don't want to say top 5. I'm gonna say like top 8 quarterback. Like he's a
Yeah,
top quarter of the league quarterback right now this season. Like that's where I would put him.
yeah, and a lot of this game specifically, um, a lot of the Vikings' success is on Dalvin Cook now that he's back and obviously healthy.
29 rushes, 140 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, I'd take that. Oh man.
But like just looking at this, like just the offensive production on both teams, almost almost 500 yards to just over 300 yards. This would look like a blowout.
It was 571 to 306. Yeah.
My math. Yeah, like this game looks like a blowout on paper until you look at what actually happened.
Well, yeah,
And
Minnesota fumbled 4 times, lost one of them, recovered the other 3. Doesn't help when you keep dropping the ball. Which
yeah,
one of Minnesota's fumbles turned into a touchdown. And
another one of Carolina's touchdowns was a block punt in the end zone, or 4 yards out of the end zone. So that right
yeah.
there is 14 points.
What a block punt that was.
Yeah,
I love block
definitely saw
punts.
that one. Block punts are one of the
Actually,
more
I
exciting
like
things ever.
blocked field goals more than block punts.
I don't know. I like them both because, like, I know this isn't NFL, but the anytime I hear block punt, the only thing I think of is Michigan State from like a decade ago at this point, where Michigan State ran it back as time expired to win the game.
Oh
Like
man.
it doesn't get much better than that. Maybe a missed field goal that's ran back for a touchdown. That's pretty exciting too. Can we do? Is it possible to do just special teams? for a game. I guess like 3-and-out punt, 3-and-out punt, 3-and-out punts, like something like that maybe. But I would love to see a special teams only game.
Are you saying like the team gets the ball and then it punts it away immediately, and then you hope that they return
Yeah,
it
like
for a punt all the way?
I
If you score a
only want
touchdown,
yeah,
then you do just the kickoff.
I only want to see punts, field goals, and kickoffs. Just
All
see
right,
what happens
all
because
right.
I feel like the Panthers have a pretty good chance if that's the case.
Okay. Oh, honestly, I don't think they
Where the
should have been in this game.
whatever it takes to get the ball out of Sam Darnold's hands. 'Cause, oh my god, I don't know the last time we've seen. I know it happens where quarterbacks hover around like the 50% completion mark. Sam Darnold was at 41%, and it felt like 4.1%.
He's starting to look really bad.
Yeah, how though? Because he looked so good starting out.
I can't give you an answer.
Adam Gase called him.
Adam
Hey man,
Gase.
saw you're doing really good. Keep it up.
Adam Gase
That
existed in the same zip code as him for half a second.
yeah, but I don't know. Vikings look good, and they let the Panthers stay in this game.
The Vikings are a 3-3 team that should not be 3-3. Like they should be like 5-1. But
Yeah,
they're also 3-3 because they just like aren't closing games efficiently.
I was going to say it's the same thing. I'm pretty sure we said last week and the week before. Look at their 3 losses: 3 points, 1 point, 7 points. But then look at their 3 wins: 13 over the Seahawks, 2 over the Lions on a missed field goal, and 6 over the Panthers in overtime. This is like the epitome of play to your opponent's level.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like Kirk Cousins is playing well. Dalvin Cook needs to stay healthy. That helps them. Like I know Alexander Mattson has been playing like really well in filling that void, but you can't fully fill the void of Dalvin Cook. Like it's just
Uh, those are some big shoes for a little man to fill.
yeah, exactly. So like it's fine there. Like their offense is not a problem.
No,
It's just currently
not in
their
the slightest.
defense just needs to stop teams, and also they need to not have punts blocked.
Yeah, that doesn't help any.
Like there are games that will be won by special teams, and it could have been this game for Carolina.
It almost was this game for Carolina.
Like if Kirk Cousins plays 5% worse, that block punt is the difference maker in this game.
Yeah, honestly.
So the Vikings look good, but also they don't look bad. They're just like they're almost there.
Yeah,
It's got to be really frustrating as a Minnesota fan right now.
they need just a little bit of consistency because you walk into a game now and it doesn't matter who it's against. Like, oh yeah, they can definitely beat that team, but we're probably still going to lose. Or vice versa. Oh yeah, there's no shot we win this game, but we might. Like the Cowboys, they should lose to the Cowboys. Cowboys should beat them. Should beat the Vikings.
Please.
With
Please.
the way that the Vikings have been going this season,
Who
the
knows?
quote best team in football right now, they lost by 1.
Yeah, don't remind me.
The quote worst team, one of the worst teams in football, they only beat by 2. That's a huge gap right there.
It doesn't make any sense.
So, what needs to happen for them other than just is it their defense? Is that their biggest problem? I mean, it is
I
their
would
biggest
say
problem,
I would say yes. Like
but is it so big of a problem that that is why they're on this like seesaw of consistency? Because you say the defense is the problem, and I don't disagree with you. They only gave up 300 yards, which is probably about average.
I don't know. It's really hard because how Kirk Cousins is playing. Like it doesn't seem like their offense is any issue. Like I don't know. It's hard. It's just hard to look at this team and say that their offense is like a downside currently, right?
Yeah,
On paper, their defense is insane, but I don't.
they're just not active.
I don't know, man. The Vikings
Side
are relevant, but not relevant.
pretty much, yeah. They could be.
And the Panthers are trending on way down because they're now on a 3-loss streak. So
Yeah. Before we move on to the next game, quick side note for anybody watching us at on Twitch, twitch.tv/memedream32 teams. You probably just saw my reaction. It's because I'm watching the Braves in the NLCS Game 3 again, and Dodgers just hit a 3-run home run to tie it. So,
okay, well that's not good.
yeah,
But a team
just
that
throwing
did
that
not
out
have a
there.
chance to tie the game.
Oh my God, what
th-
happened in this game?
I will apologize and say that the Ravens are really good, and I was completely wrong. I don't know what else to say.
What happened in this game? What Chargers?
The
Chargers are so good, have been so good, are so good, and then you produce this game. Eckler only got 6 carries. Herbert was just barely over 50% completion and under 200 yards total. Lamar Jackson had less than a quarter of their carries.
yeah, I want you to look at the box score, okay?
Mhm.
Look at the Ravens rushing.
Yep.
And I want you to name, Matt, read them out to me, the 3 running backs that scored a touchdown.
Mhm. You got Monta Freeman.
Old.
Why is okay? Latavius Murray,
On the way to being old.
Le'Veon Bell.
Old. How? Chargers. How?
The defense that you have.
This is the retirement home of running backs. How?
We're all going to see him at the Cardinals next year.
Honestly, would not be shocked.
Devontae Freeman's already been there once.
Yikes. They'll call him back right before playoffs. He'll get cut from here, and then he'll end up in Arizona.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson didn't have to do much in this game, but they ran it. They had 6 different people with carries in this game.
Thank God he didn't have to
5.
do much. He threw 2 picks.
I think that's probably why they ran it so much. Even still, they put up 60 or what? 34. Yeah, I don't know why.
I was like, wait, how many points did they put up? I had to look back at the score.
Yeah, and that's also a good point. Thank you, Twitch chat. Ravens have a healthy roster or a deep roster on IR, I guess.
I
is
think
the
they
best
have
way to put that.
16 plus players now on IR.
Yeah, where half of those are running backs.
So, and they just put someone else on IR today.
So they to be doing this good with a decent chunk of their production on both sides of the ball being on IR right now, they might be in a really good spot. Timid to say that.
I would
They're doing great. They're
props
just doing great.
props to Harbaugh and this coaching staff for just adapting with whatever they have and making it work.
Yeah.
I mean, Lamar Jackson is carrying this team, right?
Lamar Jackson is carrying this team.
Honestly,
yes.
If he keeps playing outside of this game the way he has been, I would not he would get my MVP vote. Regardless of what Kyler Murray does, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, what Lamar Jackson has done so far is just outrageous. So,
do we have our resident stat guy nearby?
No, I don't think he is available at the moment.
Okay. Because I would like to know how many touchdowns Lamar Jackson has versus how many the Ravens have.
That's a good question. I do wonder.
Because he is a heavy percentage of that right now. Which, again, same thing we keep saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But also, he's gonna get hurt.
My biggest thing with Lamar Jackson, it's the same thing with Kirk Cousins, is playoffs. Lamar Jackson's playing really well right now. But if he gets to the playoffs and he does the same thing that he's done the past 2 years, where he gets in and then bows out right away, it doesn't matter, right?
No.
So that's the only thing. That is, if I had a list of question marks for Lamar Jackson, that's it. I only have one, and it's postseason. So
yeah, I mean, he stays healthy long enough, and they get set up with possibly a round one bye.
Yep.
He he might be one of the scariest ones in the league. They are one of the scariest ones in the league. Definitely on the AFC side. So once they get to the playoffs and they have that one round bye to get everybody just a breather real quick,
And anyone back
that's
from IR if anyone's able to come back.
yeah. Like I don't know. The Ravens are in a really good spot. They are a 5-1 team that looks like 6-0. And the Chargers after this game are a 4-2 team that looks like 5 because this game was just awful for them.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about the Chargers. Like they're a good team. They didn't show
They're
up
a
to
great
play at
team.
all.
No.
So like I'm I'm not worried about the Chargers at all. I know they
Should
I know they
should the Chargers lose the division, this will be the game that everyone talks about.
probably this
I
or
mean,
the Cowboys lost in overtime.
yeah.
Either
Or of
or.
course they play the Chiefs again later, and that could also be a determining
Mhm.
factor. But this is probably one of the most impactful games of their
Yeah.
season. The fact that they lost it.
I mean, if they are a
Either
game
way,
back, if they're a game back from winning the conference, this is the game that will get talked about for sure.
yeah,
So I don't know. The Chargers, they're a great team, but
wipe it off and move on. Shake it off and move on.
hopefully. Uh, Arizona made a Cleveland team that's now hurt across the board. Look bad.
Yes,
I don't.
yeah. This is another game that I thought was going to be a whole lot closer than it was. Same outcome, but I did not expect it to be on 3 possession game.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't have personally much to say on this game. The Cardinals look really good. The Browns are just
Kyler,
banged up, unfortunately.
yeah, Kyler Murray looks really good. Looks really good,
Really good.
and the Browns are hurt. That's yeah. Unfortunately, that's the headline of this game. The Browns just weren't healthy enough to or compete.
Also, Kyler Murray fumbled 4 times in this game and recovered all 4 of them.
Okay, maybe that's a problem.
I what?
Yeah, let's not do that. Baker, there was 6 fumbles by quarterbacks in this game.
And only 2 of them were lost, both by Cleveland.
Yeah, can't have that either. But like you mentioned earlier, Baker's dealing with that non-throwing shoulder injury,
Mhm.
which does affect you mentally and to an extent physically. But
Yeah.
he should be okay as long as he babies himself. And of course, the team's going to do that.
Yeah. This was a
But
good
yeah,
game, though, I will say, for the Cardinals. They had no turnovers and only 5 penalties. So
yeah,
the things that they have been really bad at, they had a good game in terms of those 2 stats against a what I call a good team in the
yeah,
Browns. So if only the Cardinals would stop playing really well, because it's terrifying.
yeah. They are not really running away the division because the Rams are there,
Yeah.
but doing pretty good
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I would not be shocked if that team ends up as the number 1 seed.
at this rate now.
So their
Because
biggest
who's going to
test,
stop them?
I mean the Rams.
Well, they got one more game against the Rams.
Yeah.
And then they got the Cowboys later. They got hopefully by the end of the season a healthy Seahawks team. So they've got a couple tough games coming up, but the way they've been playing, nobody's stopping them.
Yeah, my friend Chase, he asked me. He said, "Imagine in a world where on January 2nd, the Cowboys welcome in Arizona and it's for the number 1 seed." And
That's a very high possibility.
I was like, "Okay, keep talking. I'm here for it."
All I'm hearing is $500 tickets.
But that's a week 17 weeks. Yeah, week 17
16
matchup.
game, 17.
It's week 17 because of the bye, and then there's 18 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's confusing. Yeah, week 17 game. And I was like, dude, there's a lot of games between now and then.
Yeah.
I believe in the
But
Cowboys, but that's a lot of wins.
again, we're only 6 weeks in, but that's still a very high
Yeah.
possibility at this point.
The next game, I don't know if you have much to say on.
The Raiders won.
Yeah,
A
the
Grubenless
Raiders.
Raiders won.
Yeah, they looked good without like having a true head coach, which is a good sign for the Raiders moving forward. They are 4-2, which is massive. And the Broncos, unfortunately, Bridgewater is starting to get exposed.
Yeah, 3 interceptions. Yeah, I'd say so.
So, yeah, that's all I really have to say. I don't. There's not to me much else to really go over on this one.
Raiders don't look amazing. They look above good and below great. Broncos, yeah, they're getting exposed and they're falling back to where we thought everyone thought they were.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah,
Man, the Broncos had good hope. Now it's all gone.
Broncos were looking really good until same thing. Them and the Panthers are in the same boat for
Yeah.
me.
Mm-hmm. Both
Strong
started 3
starts and
0.
then they used up all their magic,
Then now they're non-existent.
and now they're fading away. Fade me.
So, well, we'll see what happens with both those teams moving forward. But the game that
On
I
to
enjoyed the
your
most,
The game that I think a lot of people enjoyed, at least before both primetime games.
Dallas went into New England and won 35-29 in overtime. Um,
A game that shouldn't have gone overtime, but it did.
I, j- I just want to
It
know, for anyone who watched the Cowboys game, I just want to know what the safety was doing on the 75-yard touchdown from Mac Jones.
and it's crazy because you can see. I know you had mentioned it either. I don't know if it was text or one of the times that we talked, but you can see the moment that Diggs realizes he has no help.
But he should have had. That's the
That
part.
he should have been there.
That's the part that like it's a real simple concept for anyone who doesn't like fully understand like defenses in the NFL. Like a real simple concept is if you know you have safety help over the top, meaning past the wide receiver downfield, as a corner you play under because you know the safety will have everything past you. Right? That's the belief. So Trayvon Diggs in that play played under like he's supposed to. They threw it over him. Great throw from Mac Jones. And then the safety just ran by
Wasn't
it.
there.
I mean, he
He was
sort of there,
he was there.
but
He was
then
there, I guess.
not.
He was physically there, but not mentally. He should have been there about 3 seconds sooner than he was.
Oh my god. I mean,
Yeah, that
props to Mac
was
Jones because that throw was that was a great throw, so dangerous, but like the two
that is
defenders, it's
about
like right in between them. Perfect throw.
yeah, but that is about as perfect as you will ever see capitalizing on a defensive mistake.
100%. Yeah. It in a
And
sense reminded me of the Minneapolis Miracle, except our
pretty
defenders
much,
didn't run into each other.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the receiver wasn't touched at all.
Yeah.
So, but other than that one blemish, um,
I will
this wasn't much of a game. Other than that,
I will give credit. Mac Jones looked good. Didn't look great. I'm not gonna say that he's up there. He looked good though. Right? Like this was a definite good game for Mac Jones. Which is honestly a good sign with how the Cowboys defense has been playing. It's a really good sign for Mac Jones.
yeah, it's a really good sign for the Patriots as a whole.
100%.
Because
I
I mean,
doubted
they
Mac
parted
Jones,
ways
but
with Cam Newton.
if he plays like that, they can win a lot more games.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's going to be anything close to the reincarnation of Tom Brady like they're hoping. But if he can maintain just a smart offense,
Mm-hmm.
a productive offense, which this game is a good example of that, they're going to end up being all right.
They need. I think how I see it going for the Patriots is they probably have a late like top 10 pick, like 8. I think I'll see them at like pick 8 through 12 is where I see them.
Yeah.
And if I were them personally, I would take either an offensive lineman or a wide receiver.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Because he
That's
doesn't
what I.
really. He needs some help. Either it's somebody he can trust to throw the ball to, or that extra half a second.
Mhm.
Either way, both will benefit him greatly at this point. Because now, like you said, he's showing signs of being a greater quarterback in the league.
Yep.
But I still have my reservations because he is an Alabama quarterback, and that's not anything
Yeah.
against Alabama. It's just they don't produce quarterbacks that are NFL caliber.
I would personally say out of all the rookie quarterbacks this season, he looks the best.
Yeah, he's also had the most opportunities to play.
Him and
Well,
Trevor Lawrence.
him and Trevor Lawrence. And Trevor Lawrence is in a terrible
I would
situation all
say
the way
Zach
around. So
Wilson, but I don't want to put him anywhere close to this conversation, unfortunately.
yeah, no.
On the other side of the ball, the Cowboys look good. They need to clean up some stuff. Let me read you a tweet, by the way. The
You got
Cowboys are the first road team in NFL history to incur 115 penalty yards, convert less than 25% of their third down attempts, allow 4 touchdowns, and still win.
to say if you say everything but the end of that, I'm expecting this to be a terrible loss.
Yeah. My sister tweeted, "That's a Cowboy stat if I've ever heard one."
Yeah. I mean, and that exactly is the only reason why the Patriots were pretty much in this, because they had 200 just yards of offense, 200 less yards of offense, but then you give them 115 penalty yards. That right there, that makes up almost the whole gap.
My last thing
I
I want
mean,
to say
that
on this game is let me read a text from my friend Chase. We talked about it, and he tweeted, "This is one of those adversity games. Got to overcome this. It'll speak volumes at this squad and what they're made of.
yeah,
Great teams find ways to win games that they probably shouldn't."
exactly,
So,
exactly. And this was one of those games.
honestly, if the Patriots were playing, I'll say 24, I'll put it that way, 24 other teams in the league, they most likely win this game.
Yes,
They're just unfortunate that they played a really good team.
one of the better teams in the league right now. Yeah,
The Cowboys are
pretty
good.
much.
I can say they're good. I love this. I just
Last
jinxed
thing
it.
I'll say on this game. Last thing I'll say on this game is Trevon Diggs,
Yep.
another interception.
He, dude, I don't know, man. He's
At
a
what
ball
point?
hawk.
At what point do quarterbacks just not throw in his direction?
They have to, right? Like they have to just stop.
Dude has gotten more than one interception on average. One interception at least every single game this year.
I mean,
Again, we're only 6 games in, but to say one interception per game out of 6 games, there are defenders that go seasons without 6 interceptions.
yeah,
So he is my early favorite right now for Defensive Player of the Year,
I would agree.
unless
do
somebody ends up getting 38 sacks.
y- what?
I
Do keep in mind though that the 75-yard touchdown was past Trayvon Diggs, so
it,
it
it
can work.
was
I know it was sort of a fluke play, but
it's
the
still on him.
the throw was gorgeous. Like we can't take it
Oh
away
yeah,
from
no,
Mac.
not taking anything away from Mac Jones. He did everything he was supposed to on that play. He saw a
Also,
hole and
this
threaded the needle.
was the first time two brothers have scored. One scored an offensive touchdown and one scored a defensive touchdown in the same week since 2009. Stephon Diggs and Trayvon Diggs both scored a touchdown this week.
That's nice. I like that.
So
Now I want to see him do it in the same game.
we do. Do we play the Bills this season? I forgot.
Only the Super Bowl.
Bills. All right, guess we got to see. we got to throw back whatever 90s, 80s, 70s, whatever time frame it was when the Cowboys and the Bills were relevant. I forget.
No,
But
it's not going to be the Falcons, so I got to root for somebody, and Dak's my favorite, so works for me.
so we jump to Sunday night, and Pittsburgh,
A third of 3 overtime games.
yeah, Pittsburgh barely pulled out the game against the Geno Smith led Seahawks, 23-20. I don't.
This is the opposite kind of game between, like, usually you see, oh, it's back and forth the whole game between 2 great teams. This was just field goal. All right, here you go. You kick the field goal
There
now.
were 4
At
field
least the whole
goals
second.
in the second half.
Yeah, 5 counting overtime.
Okay, my bad. Apologies.
Yeah. So, woo. Like this may be one of the most like
Uh,
least entertaining games. Big thing I want to point out though is Najee Harris is finding his footing. No pun intended.
I mean, he
He's
has
starting.
to because
Yes, for this team to have any success, he
he
has to.
has to. Man,
I don't even remember who I picked in this game. I think I picked the Steelers,
that's who I picked. I don't trust Geno Smith.
but exactly.
And
I
honestly,
think
even with
if
Russell
Russell
Wilson,
Wilson's here,
I don't know if I even trust him here because he wasn't playing well when he was playing this season. Like the
I
Seahawks.
trust him over Gino. I think if Russell plays, they win this game. Not by much. Maybe they get one more touchdown
Mhm.
and it doesn't go to overtime. But that yeah, this game was just back and forth and not great. I mean, the Steelers won off a field goal off of a Geno Smith fumble.
Oh, Geno.
So, oh Geno. Yeah, there were 4 fumbles in this game. One lost by both. There
What was
were
going
how
on
many
this week?
interceptions?
Everyone was just dropping the ball.
There's actually no interceptions this game. I thought there was, but I it this game was just hard to watch. I caught glimpses of this game,
This game,
and I didn't want to see more than
this
that.
game would have been a great primetime game like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
And it's like the
honestly,
NFL
yes.
forgot that it's not the same teams, and they slotted it at Sunday night, and they were like, "Can't wait for that game." Then the season started, and they went,
Keep in mind,
we probably shouldn't."
I don't know when flex rules go into play.
I think it's like week
But
15 or 16.
it's okay. Is it that late?
It's late in the
Eh,
season.
Anyway, keep in mind this schedule was set in May, like right after the draft. And in May, this did look like a good matchup. Then we saw Russell Wilson get hurt, and we saw Ben Roethlisberger is still has no mobility and got hurt again.
Yeah,
So
he has an extra pad on his hip because his hip is injured. Like he has broken bones in the shell of a man.
oh god, this dude's gonna be in a wheelchair by 50.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about that game anymore. It just
Yeah.
meh.
Congrats to the Steelers.
But Monday Night Football.
Probably the most entertaining game all week. Yes, the most entertaining game all week. And mother Derrick Henry.
He has 3 rushing touchdowns in 3 games this season. Like, what?
Yeah, and as we were going to bring this up anyway, but as somebody in Twitch chat, twitch.tv/meme streams 32 teams, pointed out, Derrick Henry is only 2 less touchdowns right now than Adrian Peterson's MVP season. We are 6 games into the season. He needs 3 touchdowns in the last 11 games of the season to overshadow Adrian Peterson.
He's at 10 rushing touchdowns. Or what? You said 6 games in, right?
6 games in.
We have 11 games
He's on pace for a lot.
If he averages 1.7 touchdowns a game for the rest of the season, he breaks the record.
Which is what, 23?
28 from Danian Tomlinson in 2006. Yeah. Good old LT.
Well, he's on. Let's see, how many is he at right now?
He's at
11. At 10.
Mm-hmm.
Through 6 games. So yeah, 1.6.
It's like roughly 1.6, 1.7. I didn't
Yeah.
fully do the math.
Through 17 games, he would hit 28 if he trends right now. 28.3. But that is with an extra game. LaDainian Tomlinson didn't
Yeah,
have that extra game. So
the records are gonna get broken. So
every l- everything about just Derrick Henry's stats right now is ridiculous. His yards after contact are higher than the number 2 running back's yards.
he's
Like
just
everything about him is literally like you had said. Des Bryant tweeted it out.
yeah.
This is the player you make on Madden.
Like,
Like
yeah, I'm gonna
that.
make a
That is
running
the
back who's like, I don't know, 6'3", 6'4", and he's gonna weigh like 250. He's gonna have like 99 strength and 99 speed.
99 agility and top speed. You see how quick he ran? Fastest run. Is it the fastest run of the season or his fastest run of the season?
No idea
Either way,
because
it was quick.
Derrick Henry is so large that when he starts sprinting the way he does, I
It
don't
doesn't look great.
understand.
I saw another tweet about Derrick Henry. He was a very hot topic last night. Um, he's like Derrick Henry's 6'3", 6'4", 245 pounds. Somebody tweeted, "I'm 6'4", 240 pounds. What am I doing wrong?"
I,
What a man. And there's so much more to talk about in this game, but
without
Derrick Henry.
without Derrick Henry, this Titans team doesn't exist at all.
No. And I think we've said this before. Tannehill is doing what he needs to do, which isn't much at this point.
I mean, he threw one pick, but his job today or yesterday was to not turn the ball over.
And he did throw one pick,
Unfortunately,
but
but he didn't throw
I mean,
more.
yeah, he was very reserved in what he did do, and that interception turned into a field goal. So it's not like it was terrible. Because if it was a touchdown, this game may have gone.
Oh man, dude, this Titans team. Derrick Henry has to stay healthy for them to
It's the
be
Tennessee
relevant.
Derrick Henrys. Yeah.
Yeah,
If Derrick Henry goes down, I don't know. He's my current. Honestly, he might. He's pushing to MVP, but MVP always likes to default to a quarterback. But
yeah.
he's my offensive player of the year, like hands down, right now.
Honestly, if Lamar Jackson wasn't playing the way he is, Derrick Henry would get my vote. But
Yeah,
obviously, we'll see. We've said it 7,000 times talking about just this game alone. We're 6 games in. So much can change. There's already been
we're
7,000 injuries. Like,
not even halfway through the season.
so many things can change. So we'll see. We will see what happens. But on the other side of the ball, the Bills.
I feel like the Bills should have won this game.
They should have. They're very unfortunate that on the 4th and 1, because they went for a 4th and 1 in the red zone to try and basically win the game, right? Like they could have kicked a field goal, gone to overtime. I love the confidence, especially in the regular season.
You don't do that against a team like the Titans.
I understand, but again, it's the regular season, and they were 4-1. They in an essence had a game to give, right? Like you can lose this game and
Yes.
still win the division and still have a really good record. So like
Yeah,
I
but this
understand
is going
going
to be a
for it
game.
here.
Yes and no. I disagree. They take the points at this in this situation because this is going to be a game that is going to end up being a tiebreaker at the end of the season for seeding in the playoffs.
Mm,
You don't throw the game away like this.
yeah, I don't know. I like the call personally. It's a
I like the
risk.
confidence and the guts of it. I love that side of it, but it wasn't a smart call. That was a adrenaline fueled call.
It does suck that Josh Allen slipped on the play itself. Like that.
That part is unfortunate, and we could be having a completely different conversation right now had he not flipped or not slipped.
Yeah, imagine if
But
they win it, right? Like if
that's
let
the
me
greatest call of
ask.
the season.
I'm gonna say, let me ask you, if they win the game here, right? Like he gets the first down, they go and score a touchdown. Do you think your opinion changes on the call as to like, man, what a gutsy call? Like, great decision.
Um, having it at the moment, yes. At this point, 24 hours later, getting a chance to like let it sit,
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't. I don't think that's a play. If this is like you were saying, if this wasn't,
If this is a playoff game, they take the field goal.
yeah,
99 out of
if the
100 times.
and if I am the Bills here, I'm treating this game like a playoff game because this will be a playoff game.
Yeah.
Like you don't get many opportunities to. Though luckily you don't have many opportunities for a second
Mhm.
chance. Luckily they will have that second chance, but they missed it here. They missed a very big opportunity here. It would have been what, like an 18-yard field goal. They were within the 5-yard line.
It would have been a 20-yard field goal.
Yeah,
So, like it was definitely a chip shot. Like the field goal would have been, let me rephrase that. With how kickers been this season, it should have been made if attempted.
yeah. Um, and
So,
again, like that plays into it too. The fact that you are literally 3 yards away from the end zone and winning this game, but I
I
think you
think
take the points. I
I
don't
think
think it
they
matters the situation.
I think they don't go for it. Like let's say they're on the 20, right? Like there wasn't the time left on the clock
There's like
was
not long, like 20 something seconds.
12 seconds at the after like when the play was snapped. There were 12 seconds.
Yeah,
So I think if they are not as close as they are to the end zone, they do not go for it. I think
yeah. If
it's just a situation of like the game is has a chance to be won. You're 3 yards from the end zone. It's a huge
they
game. Like a really like if they win this, they have a really good shot at winning the conference. Like
yeah,
so many things happen if they win this game.
they still had 2 timeouts or
Yeah,
1 timeout after they called that timeout, but I think you take the points regardless. It's unfortunate that he slipped. It's unfortunate it went the way that it did, but this is not a game where you try to pull those moves out.
I would say 90 out of 100 times he doesn't slip.
Also true.
It's unfortunate that they landed on the 1 out of 10.
Yeah. But this isn't Friday Night Lights, this is a movie. This isn't a we can do it. Trust me, coach. Like you take the points.
Yeah. So the thing is though is
Regardless,
that the
happened how it
Bills
happens.
look good. Josh Allen looks good. My only downside to the Bills is their run game. They just
They don't really have,
yeah. And with the
and that's not
Titans, it's if for some reason Derrick Henry has a slow start, like if for some reason he can't get going in a game, Tannehill has to pick it up.
yeah, which he is more than capable of doing.
Yeah. So
But let's just for fun here.
okay.
If you fantasy drafted a team off of just the Bills and Titans and put them in the NFL, does anybody beat them?
You're telling me hold on. Hey, hold on a second.
I'm
No,
telling
no,
you,
hold
you
on.
get Josh
Let me,
Allen and
no, no.
Derrick Henry.
Let me tell you this offensive lineup. Ready?
Yeah.
We got Josh Allen handing the ball off to Derrick Henry.
Hmm.
Then we have Josh Allen thrown to A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, and Stephon Diggs, with Emmanuel Sanders as their fourth wide receiver.
Cole Beasley is number 5. Yeah,
This team should put up 700 points a game.
minimum. I think they get 20-0. Problem.
That's so many good players. That'd be terrifying.
I mean, we said it before the season started. We said it, I think, at the end of last season. These are the two of the scariest, and at this
Mm.
point, because the Chiefs are not looking like it, two of the two scariest teams in the AFC.
I think the best four teams in the AFC right now are Bills, Titans, Chargers, Ravens.
Yes,
I mean,
as of week 6, yes,
obviously by record, yes, guys, I get it, but there's a reason why they have the top four teams currently.
exactly.
So yeah, but that does it for week 6.
Last thing I want to say.
Yep.
Um, by rule of association, the Jets are the best team in the league right now. Titans beat the
Technically,
Bills.
no, because the Cardinals haven't lost. The Jets are the number 2 team in the league.
All right, so well, if the Cardinals and the Jets play, who wins? So moving on to week 7.
The Jets.
Wait, they did beat the Titans. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Week 7.
I don't like. Anyway, starting out buys, teams on buy will be Buffalo, Dallas, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Los Angeles Chargers and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I get no Cowboys football this week.
I had no Falcons football. Well, that was actually a blessing for me.
Well, yeah. What do I do? Do I just enjoy football
Uh,
like a normal NFL fan? That's
just
lame.
a standby this week, I guess.
Ugh. Honestly, looking at a lot of the games here, they're.
There's not really any games that I'm super excited to
I
see.
think there's only one game that I want to watch. Two games. Let me just run through again real quick before I finish my answer there. 1, 2. Yeah. There's only two games
There's
I
two
want to watch,
games.
and they're both at noon.
Of course they are.
All right,
And both on and both on CBS.
whatever. Let's run through this.
Yep.
Thursday night, Denver goes into Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Cleveland by
Or
like
Denver.
7.
Yeah, I was gonna say 17-13.
Yeah, that
Cleveland.
sounds. Yeah, that's probably a good score. Washington into Green Bay.
Is Fitzpatrick back?
He has a
Trick question.
chance.
Green Bay.
Green Bay, yeah. Okay, that was good. That was good. The first game of 2 this week that are actually going to be relevant. Kansas City goes into Tennessee.
So yeah, this is one of 2 big games this week. The way it's currently going, Tennessee by a touchdown.
That's who I'm picking.
Tennessee by a touchdown, and Derrick Henry only gets 1 touchdown this week.
1?
Yeah, I know
That's
this
so
little friend.
rude. Your Atlanta Falcons going into Miami,
A Tua led Miami.
but Atlanta's off a bye week.
Atlanta wins off of Miami missing a game-winning field goal.
I can see that happening.
That's what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna take Miami winning on a game-winning field goal.
They make the field goal.
New York Jets come off their bye week and go into New England. I think Mac Jones wins again against the Jets.
Agreed.
Yay. Carolina at the New York Giants. I'm taking the Panthers as a bounce back game from a 3-game losing streak against a banged up Giants team.
Yeah. Assuming Sam Darnold has less than 2 interceptions, yeah. Assuming Daniel Jones has more than or also less than 2 interceptions. I don't know. I want to take the Giants here, but they're so banged up. Nick Jonas, Daniel Jones will be concussed until the Super Bowl. So
I don't have that same look that the old Giants quarterback did in AI Manning of him like, what?
oh, the Manning brothers.
The second
Carolina.
Good game of the week of 2.
Yeah.
Cincinnati goes into Baltimore. And
Baltimore takes it, but it's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be a shootout.
I believe in Joe Burrow,
what's your
but
thought process here? I don't believe in him that much.
My thing is, I believe in Joe Burrow a lot, but I believe in Lamar Jackson more.
I will say this: I am picking the Ravens, but if there is a game for Joe Burrow to prove who he is, it's this game.
100% agree. I will also be taking the Ravens. I think the Ravens win by at least 10 if they win.
So, just for shits and giggles, Ravens by 6 is the spread. Under/over is 47.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm saying this game's gonna have closer to 60.
Lamar Jackson's
like
gonna fumble once. Joe Burrow's gonna throw 1 pick.
Those the only turnovers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd see that. Yeah.
Philadelphia goes into Las Vegas. Philly has a chance of winning this game.
It's slim.
But I think it's not as slim as you think. My thing with thinking with that is the whole Raiders not like having a true head coach. Like there are just things that are not going to be smooth sometimes.
Yeah.
When the Raiders got, in a sense, fortunate last week that Bridgewater threw 3 picks. It's kind of hard to lose a
Yeah.
game when you
Yeah.
when you do
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna take the Raiders, but I don't think it's as
I'm taking the Raiders only because they're at home.
I want to see that stadium in person.
Yeah, most definitely.
But yeah, I think the
It was.
Raiders. Yeah,
How long do you want to spend on Rams and the Lions the next game?
Rams.
Rams
Okay.
next.
Uh,
How long do you want to spend on this one?
Houston goes to
Cardinals at the
Arizona,
Texans.
and Arizona wins by 77.
Yep.
Chicago, Chicago at Tampa Bay.
There's
Tampa
not a
Bay
lot of
by
good games,
10.
guys. Yeah,
Right, because Tampa Bay
but
hasn't been
Justin
looking
Fields
good.
looks better and Justin Fields looks better than he has, but still not good enough.
Fingers crossed he does, please. I want hope.
Yeah, Tampa by 10 to 14.
Indianapolis goes into San Francisco. This game will be good, just because they're two teams that are
This
fighting to
is
stay
like
relevant.
the this is like the 14th and 15th seed playing against each other.
It hurts because it's so
I don't know
true.
who's who.
I'm
I'm
taking
giving this
the
one to the
Colts.
Colts.
Yep.
Okay.
I think they build off of the win that they had. I know they played the Texans, but
Yeah.
they can
And
take a lot of good things from that game.
San Francisco's struggling with any kind of consistency.
They're coming off a
But
bye,
they're
so hopefully
all of their games.
Trey Lance is healthy. If he's not, then hopefully
Yeah.
Garoppolo's healthy. Hopefully they have a healthy
And I did
quarterback.
not. Yeah, that'll help their situation out a lot. I did not realize how close all of their games have been this year. They have not won or lost by more than a possession.
San Francisco?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been relevant and also not.
They barely beat the bad teams and then barely lost to the good teams. So where do you place them?
Yeah.
At 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And then Monday night, which could be an interesting game.
New Orleans coming off of their bye week, going into Seattle.
This is still Geno Smith led Seattle.
Yeah. I'm gonna take New Orleans.
Okay. I'm taking New Orleans as well.
New Orleans by 7.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm hoping that it's a good Jameis game for the sake of I will be watching this game.
I see him going 2 touchdowns and a pick in this game.
Yards. I'm saying
8,000?
180. No, I'm saying 180.
No, I think he hits like 280.
Think he breaks 200?
He breaks 200.
Oh, you think he?
But I don't think he
he
breaks
almost
300 because I feel like
Okay.
they're going to get out to like sort of an early lead, and he won't
Okay.
have to throw as much. But the Seahawks
Just
will keep
as
it
needed.
relevant enough to where he'll kind of have to throw. You know,
He'll
one
have
of those
a couple
games.
He'll have a couple third and longs where he has to do something.
And then he'll end up throwing like a 70-yard bomb to someone randomly. They'll be like,
That'll push
"Oh,
him
it's a
over the
run.
200
No, it's a
mark.
play action," and he'll just like see a guy way open down the field. That seems
Have
like
a Mac Jones-esque throw.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry to bring it up.
But that does it for week 7. I mean, it's not a lot of games because 6 teams are on bye. So we're going into 13 games this week, and they're not.
4 of the more interesting, fun, good teams are on bye this week.
Yeah.
So this will probably be the least exciting week of football we've had, and it took until week 7 to actually have and we're saying this before the week, a down week in the NFL.
Maybe we'll get like 6 overtime games.
6 overtimes with 18 missed extra points.
Yeah, honestly, I would not put it past the NFL this year.
Yeah.
But that does it for week 6 and week 7.
Yeah.
Eddie.
Yes, sir.
I need the fun fact.
So I'm gonna give you 2 hints right off the bat.
Oh, 2 hints?
Yep.
Okay, I'm ready.
This is a NFL first that happened in 1953.
It's not the fact that you wrote down, is it?
No, it is
Okay,
not.
I was like,
the first Eagles game. Hey, Ken, are you here? The Philadelphia Eagles' first NFL game, they lost. Unfortunate. to the Giants, 56-0.
That's not the fact for anyone listening.
That is not the fun fact.
1953 NFL first. What?
Mhm. Not that this is going to help it anymore, but it is almost to the day in 1953. Happened October 18th, 1953.
The first punt return for a touchdown.
No,
First kickoff return for a touchdown?
nothing to do with kicking. It
Does that have something to do with touchdowns?
no. Well, no.
Scoring?
No scoring.
1953. NFL first. Were TVs invented back then?
TVs were invented in the 20s, yes.
So was that the first nationally televised NFL game?
No.
Oh.
I'm giving you one more guess, if you got one.
The first time helmets were worn.
No, but that's probably around the same time, honestly. No.
All right, what is it?
Willie Thrower, amazing name.
Is he a quarterback?
He becomes the first black NFL quarterback in modern times.
What a name.
Perfect name for a
First
quarterback.
off. And also, sort of like a history thing, wasn't segregation still kind of in play in the 50s? I know this sounds really dumb that I'm asking that, but like I'm really bad at history.
I'm going to go with yes. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure
So that's a
50s,
big
the
deal.
nation was still segregated.
That's a huge deal. Wow.
Props to the NFL. I did not look to see which team he played on, but I can find that out real quick. I'm going to guess the Bears.
Wait, hold on. What was his name again?
Willie Lee Thrower.
No, take away Lee, and I want you to say it one more time to me.
Willie Thrower.
I don't know. Will he?
He barely knows her. I actually guessed right. He played for the Bears.
Were they in Chicago at that time, or were they a different city?
They were the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
First NFL African American quarterback in the modern era, played for the Chicago Bears in 1953. In 1952, he won a national championship with the Michigan State Spartans.
Yo, this guy's a badass. Wow.
5'11", 180, to tell you how long it's been. How long ago it was.
Maybe not like a real badass, but like a badass.
Good for you. Yeah. And
Wow.
interesting enough, he won the national championship in 1952, went undrafted. That was also the only game he played.
Oh.
He was 3 for 8, threw 1 interception, 27 passer yards.
I mean, props to him for basically
Still a
starting
huge
something
thing.
right, but
he was the backup quarterback.
Not props for how he played.
He was the backup quarterback. Got a 1-year, $8,500 contract with the Bears.
Wait,
So,
how many dollars?
$8,500
Wait,
in 1953.
inflation calculator. 8,500 in what year or what month?
1953. I'm gonna assume right after the draft. Should just do May.
May. Okay. It was an $87,000 contract. Nice.
NFL wasn't as big as it was then.
For one game though.
For 8 passes though.
He made almost 11 grand per throw. If I can do that.
He was known for passing the ball 70 yards.
No, he threw it 27 yards.
He could throw it up to 70. I guess. But yeah, I thought that was cool.
That's an interesting
and great name.
Fact.
That was the main reason I want to say that. There was an NFL quarterback named Willie Thrower.
What a cool name. It is cool too that he was a quarterback and his last name was Thrower.
Yeah.
I would have been really disappointed if you were like Willie Thrower, defensive tackle. I'd have been like,
you chose the wrong position, bud.
I wonder if he chose quarterback on purpose for his name.
Then again, this was a different time. This was 70 years ago now. Um, 6 foot and 180 may have been the standard for defensive men, so he may have had that opportunity too.
Oh, true, true.
But
Oh, this is a long episode. There's
it
a lot to
was,
talk about from this week.
yeah. I
A
feel like next week
lot.
might be shorter.
It might. The weeks will be short, probably a little bit shorter, because we'll start having 6 teams on by for a little bit.
Yep.
But we appreciate you guys watching, hanging out, listening, enjoying the content wherever you do. Reminder, we do stream our episodes every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. And you can find us at twitch.tv/meme streams32teams. You can find us on SoundCloud and Spotify and YouTube. Just search meme streams 32 teams. It'll pull us up. And then you can tweet at us and follow us on Twitter at memes32teams. Tweet us with any football stuff, any food stuff, dogs, anything really. Just tweet at us. We'll tweet back.
Dogs.
Oh, look. Yeah, for those watching on Twitch or YouTube, you can see Maggie. Oh, Maggie. What an adorable puppy. She's the best.
She's got part of her Halloween costume on now.
Can't believe you guys are dressing the dog up.
Oh yeah.
Anyways.
Why not?
We appreciate you guys hanging out, listening, chilling. And we will see you guys after week 7 for episode 49. I can't believe we're about to hit the half-century mark.
50.
That's crazy. But we hope you guys enjoy week 7. Enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. And we will see you guys next Tuesday. Peace.
Adios. Thanks for joining.